Right, hi everyone. So we're doing the wee Lemurian message for Monday, the 11th of August 2025, but it's all timeless, so I won't shuffle too long because my hand is still sore, so a bit draining, but yeah, it really is. Right, okay, so let's just pick one. It's always the ones where I'm just totally chill. I was like, will I do this, will I not? And it's like I picked that one, so doing it. Right. I'm gobsmacked because Internal Explorer, because this is the one I've told stories about before. It's that angle better. That basically it's very twin flamey. Like she actually talks about twin flames in it. Yeah, and it always, the memory I've got is because I've had this deck like when it, I don't know, when it came out years ago. Um, it was kind of funny because I wasn't out my twin flame closet, so I was always like, remember from the very start 10 years ago, it's always been twin flames that I've been helping, but I wasn't saying it in public until like, well, it was 4 years ago now. So but occasionally the thing is, occasionally I would talk about twin flames, I just wouldn't home in on being one, although everyone that worked with me one knew, you know, everybody knew, but they didn't know. Do you know what I mean? Like most people that are tuning in were going to know because they'd worked with me, but like other people watching, like that knew me from other walks of life, didn't know. But then it's quite funny because even some of them 144 would know when they heard what it was about. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's her and him." so, so there could be something very similar. You know, like you could relate to some of whatever I've said. Like even if you'd never heard of it, or you know, if there's not a way that your person's kind of come across it, it's kind of like, you know, people notice there's an intense connection between you and your person. Right, so let's read it. We don't need another one because that's an intense one all by itself. So the energetic weather, I think I'm actually going to film, I think I'm going to film my mediumship Monday one after that. Like I think I'm going to film the Lionsgate portal and mediumship Monday one after this, just in case. It's funny because basically Mercury goes direct today, so I've put a post out about that. But so yay! But remember that we're not out of the shadow till like a few weeks. Like I think it's 25th or something like that. So, but you could see, like, you know, messages, calls coming forward, lost emails. The big thing I'm feeling is, you know, especially because it's a Pisces moon today, confusion, illusion. But Pisces moon is also very psychic. It's mystery, magical. Um, like, yeah, you know, people. It could be like people are waking. Sorry, I'm burping, hiccuping. That's why I'm clearing energy. If you're new, but but that makes sense of what I'm saying. It's like, you know, people could feel like they're waking up from a spell. Like, why the hell did I get involved with this person? Or how could I not see through these false friends? Or how could I not see that I was being manipulated by a family member? You know, like all these kind of all areas of life. Or how could I not see that was a dodgy business deal? All of these things could be relevant. And then also, I've just thought about it too. You know, so that's one thing. You know, like so all of that can start happening from now. Um, because usually the decisions you make whilst Mercury is retrograde, with the exception if you were born with Mercury retrograde, because I was born with Mercury retrograde, and I don't like saying retrograde so much, but yeah, so sometimes things go a bit easier for me during the Mercury retrograde. So you might actually find that too, but not always. Sometimes it is quite dramatic. Yeah, to be honest, this one hasn't been too bad. Like I felt how much things slowed down, but yeah, there was nothing too dramatic, which I'm surprised at because it wasn't Leo. I was I was kind of expecting it, so I'm kind of glad of that. But so I hope that you were lucky with that too. But yeah, with Venus conjunct Jupiter in Cancer today, you know, Cancer is your feelings. So you know there could be this huge desire to, like, you know, express your feelings. But 444. But what we're feeling is because the moon is void of course all day, which basically it means no harm can come to you, but also means you're not, like, nothing is really going to come from it. So it's not the best day to take big bold action, right? The best day to take the action would be like tomorrow and Wednesday when the moon's in Aries, like fuck it, let's go, because it's Aries sun, Leo sun, Aries moon. That's fun, fiery energy. That's the energy in my 5th house. That's why I've always got loads of energy to do what I'm doing. One of the reasons why. Playful, it's playful, it's fun energy. Whereas today, like I'm like it's sleepy, like I was just going to go a wee walk locally, but like my auntie and uncle are visiting, so we're just going to go somewhere a bit different, and which is still quite nearby, to be honest. But basically, it's what I just had a thought of there is if we end up at a pub, which I think we probably will, knowing my knowing my family. Although I don't, if you're new to this channel, I typically don't drink, right? Like seriously. But for the month of August, usually I do. It's not like I'm getting pissed every day August. But what I mean is, I take the foot off the brakes. Like if I'm with family or friends or something, and I want to have a drink, I do. So, yeah. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I might, not loads, but it's just the only reason is when even if I have like 1 or 2 beers, I don't like to then, I just don't do work like this. So yeah, so I'll film that just in case. But if I'm live, it means that I didn't have a drink. But I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking, I'm like, because the thing is, I could always just have a Coke, but then I'm like, that's a bit shit if I kind of really want one. You know what I mean? I know that you wouldn't want me to hold myself back, if I wanted to relax and chill out and stuff. So, but anyway, also with Venus conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, like because of the moons in Pisces too, like Jupiter expands, right? It's opportunity, it's luck too. But I don't really believe in luck. It's luck, it's preparation, meeting opportunity. So it's opportunities, expansion, the way that I see it. But like because the moon's in Pisces, and again Pisces, mystical, magical, mysterious. So although I'm quite tired, I'm like, oh, I could totally chill all day. I've done that all weekend, so it's kind of like, I'm only going a wee walk, and it'd be nice to see my family that are visiting and stuff. And like, but basically, the shadow side of the Pisces moon is like confusion, illusion, deception, lies, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm kind of thinking is, with that Venus conjunct Jupiter, I could see how the like lies or confusion, illusion around your feelings about something could be expanded and like make it seem like things is what cancer is also trauma too. So you know what I mean? Like it's all kind of weaved in here. I could see how. Oh yeah, actually, this feels like a really messy day for when I've always said this before. So sorry, to confuse it more, but it's kind of like this is how it's coming through. It's sorry, not sorry. It's channeling the energy or something. This could definitely be something where like you think you're right, you're adamant, you're like, I trust my intuition, I know what I feel, like this is right. And then, with the Mercury going direct just now over the next, you find out it wasn't right. And something was, either someone has lied to you, or it's a bit of a trick or a confusion or illusion, which was blown out of proportion with that conjunction too. So, but again, mostly it's it's going to expand opportunities to take action with something. Again, remember, because the big thing is we're in the Lionsgate portal. Like today and tomorrow are like the last heightened days of it. So it's because that energy, that the Venus conjunct Jupiter also is aligning with the Sirius energy, the Lionsgate portal. So there's this amazing energy to manifest. Like actually, amazing energy to manifest miracles. So it's probably why that's come up. Do you know what this? Do you know what this energy is actually? This is like, this card's probably coming out because I could see how the alignment of all these energies is like, this could be like serendipitous meetings, So like, yeah, like you could just see your twin flame, like it could just happen, just anywhere, you know what I mean? So it's making me want to stay in, but anyway, but it's like, like Just it's awkward, isn't it? But anyway, no, it's. Do you know what I'm saying? Like these are the kind of things that could happen with this energy because the Lionsgate portal is so connected to twin flames and the energy is so heightened. Visualize focus on what you do want and not what you don't want. Oh, Nailverse come completely off that. But anyway, so weird message, but that's what's come through that. So let's read it. So, seeing the divine in the eyes of another, relationships with deep bonds, karmic connection, clearing illusionary projections. Oh, that's quite interesting what I've just said. I forgot I said that. Life-changing connection, transmuting dissonance, removing heart armor, being seen, teamwork. Because again, Pisces is also unconditional love. It's totally twin flames and soulmates, so that's why that's come out as well when this is on a Pisces moon. What else did I write in that post? Oh, also the fact that today's a Monday, Moon Day. That's why it's called Monday. That's why I call it Moon Day. So with this being a day connected to the moon and it being a Pisces moon, this is just all very feminine, very sensitive energy. 11:11. See, look, serendipitous meetings between twin flames. Might put it in the title. This powerful, and again, it that can mean like somebody actually consciously does it, like, you know, like people contact you. But I do feel there could be things like, you know, things like that where you just see them somewhere you didn't expect to. So let me know if any of that happens to you. Right, so this powerful image represents the divine we see when we look deeply into the eyes of another and our armor drops. When we meet another being present in the moment with no stories, judgments, or insecurities. I felt a little overwhelmed and intimidated when I painted this card. I wasn't quite ready or didn't fully fathom the message. I don't know if I just imagined that was my buzzer or if it actually, I don't think it was. But that could have meaning as well, like contact. Then some months later, I experienced it was when I was looking in the eyes of my beloved. Shortly after, I encountered the divine in the eyes of a stranger when space was held for this surrendered openness. When we see the person standing before us as the gods and goddesses they are, is a reminder that we are what we perceive in others. But also, when we drop into the mindless space of pure essence, we might see the world seeing us, seeing them, seeing the infinite eternal, allowing all that is. That's very Pisces moon because it's like, what? This is, or Aquarius moon, and we're just, that's the other thing I said, because we're just out of that Aquarius full moon over the weekend, like, I feel emotions are, basically any kind of emotions, feelings are massively heightened right now. So you could be getting huge, massive clarity on how you feel about things, good, bad, amazing, and different. But with the moon being void, of course, again, it really just depends, you know. It depends what you're doing, but, you know, it might be wise to take action in the Aries moon the next couple of days. But I'd say this is more a day of chilling than taking action. But it depends if it's gentle action. Like I mean, I'm going out with my family, but it's going to be very chilled. Synchronicity, serendipity, that's what I feel about today. Many people are seeking their twin flame. As life-changing, world-rocking and unfathomably beautiful finding this soul can be, it's quite possibly one of the most intensely confronting, trigger-provoking, and sometimes painful connections we can have. Yeah, great way to put it. Those who are most, which is why I was like, oh, that's kind of making me not want to go out. Do you know what I mean? And again, it's nothing against some person. It's just, it's uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? When you're not, you know, then clearly, you know what I mean, if he's not wanting to talk anyway, then I'm not wanting to bump into him somewhere where it's like, you know what I mean, that's what I'm feeling. But anyway, sometimes, you know, the universe has different, but oh, look, I'm saying the universe. It's going to happen to one of you because I don't like saying the universe. The universe has other plans for people. This is why spending extended periods with our family can be challenging. Well, that doesn't bode well when I'm going to see my family. That's quite funny. When we can see and be seen and disarmed and trusting, we can come to deeper love. However, this deepening process can trigger the release of outdated and unhealthy patterns. Thus, shadows may be brought to the surface to heal. When we feel safe in the arms of our beloved, our defences yield, so we fall further into our hearts. However, fear-based reflections or projections can surface in this place of deep vulnerability. Subconscious behaviours, including childhood patterning, can also present themselves, which is why the separation serves a purpose to heal yourselves in the separation, and then it continues when you're together. It also continues if you do serendipitously bump into them. You know what I mean? Again, it's because we've just come out the Aquarius full moon. Yeah, very heightened time of that surprises. You know what I mean? So again, not bad. It doesn't need to be bad. It can be good ones too. It can seem as if our partner is provoking difficulties, bringing things up, making it feel like our whole world is about to fall apart. Pisces moon can just do that full stop, guys. Seriously, I mean, that's how I find it. At this point, we may want to retreat, but if we can be truly present, our fears can fall away and this becomes an expansive experience, especially with Jupiter conjunct Venus. Also, Jupiter conjunct Venus, that isn't just love, it's things to do with what you value and things to do with money and that too. So, yes, I hope it's expanding your abundance. But yeah, it really just depends where it is in your chart. You know what I mean? Like, it can be expanding opportunities or it can be expanding problems depending on, like, you know, like overeating, overspending, blah, 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 blah. So just be wary. I can look at your chart if you're wanting to book that session. Somehow, incredibly, the universe seamlessly aligns the places the twin flames need healing. Their triggers may be synchronized so that when they feel uncentered, there's codependence or imbalance. It can be very volatile space. If they find safety and love, they're willing to see and be seen. Their triggers can blossom into deep transformative healing. I say that word for them both. This healing can forge the foundations for long-term companionship. Alternatively, this completion could mark an ending, as the intense potency of a connection neutralizes the relationship, may transform into a different kind of unconditional love. That's quite interesting because Pisces moon is also endings too, and it's very karmic energy as well. And you know, there is, like, although karma and karmic connections gets associated with, like, you know, karmic partners, like, you know, the bad, you know, basically the people you're meant to be moving away from. Twin flames are very karmic in nature too. You know, there's a lot of karma to work through. But yeah, I'm just thinking about, like, that ritual that we done where we're to get an object, and I picked up that hematite crystal that was right beside me. I looked at 1717, hoping healing on the horizon. I don't want to part with it because I like it, but it symbolises needing to let go of things, you know, like needing to let go of the way things were to welcome in the way things are and the way that you want things to be. Whatever I said in the thing, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you watch, I think it was the one on the day before, I think it was on the 7th. So, you know, there's two. They basically, what was really interesting was, one was about the divine feminine, Isis energy, healing the goddess Isis, and the next day on the Lionsgate portal, it was healing the divine masculine, Osiris. So again, I've got no control over that. I just turned up as a divine channel, but it was kind of quite nuts the way it came through. So, you know, they're both quite long, but it was in one of them. I think it was the goddess Isis one. So, like I said, that crystal was just staring at me all weekend, and I'm like, right, I'm going to throw it in the sea. And I was like, can you do that? And I was like, well, if there's rocks and shit in the sea too. But, like, rather than burying it in the sand, I didn't fancy doing that. But I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bury it somewhere else where I'm going today. Yeah. So, but you know, I'm letting it go. I'm giving it back to Mother Nature, and that's so. You know, you might want, if you didn't already do that, you know, you might want to watch it and do it, or just simply do that. Get something, imprint something that you want to let go of, a way of being or situation, and just, you know, let it go. And I mean, something I've done for years too is you could actually just pick up any old rock or stick or something and have the intention, this symbolises me letting this go, and throw it into the sea. Then a dog will probably come out of nowhere and but you know what I'm saying? Like, I do that all the time, but so it's kind of very like that actually. But yeah, it just, so my nose is really itchy, so I feel the loved ones and the ancestors really supporting this. So I feel it's even more important though, because Pisces is the end. And I feel, you know, make a lot of sense to me if many of you are feeling very emotional today, because of all the stuff I've said about emotions. This is just, there's so many astrological things going on to do with emotions. Even the Lionsgate portal energy is heightened emotion. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, I feel, why was I going to say something about feelings. Oh, that was it, yeah. Because on the 7th of September, right? So just less than a month away, it's the full moon eclipse in Pisces. So, you know what I mean? Like that'll be a huge time of letting go. But I feel like now's like the kind of a bit of a practice for letting go. And then if there's things you really want to let go of, relationships, karmic connections, situations, jobs, that'll be the biggie. Because basically these two full moons back to back, Aquarius and Pisces, I never like them this time of year. Yeah, so here's a bit of a warning. There's a bit of a warning for that. And the new moon in Virgo is on the 23rd of August, in a couple of weeks, maybe 10 days or something. So this healing can forge the foundations for long-term companionship. Alternatively, this completion could mark an ending, as the intense potency of a connection neutralises a relationship, may transform into a different kind of unconditional love. I just read that about twice. Harmonic flight shows us that when we harmonise energies with that of another, in any form of relationship, we can soar to the sky. We can guide each other higher and higher by encouraging all that is weighing us down to drop away. So, you know what I mean? That's what I mean when that was funny. I looked up and it was just passing Math Twinflame's numbers. I do that a lot around here if you're new. So, what you see in the eyes of another is a reflection of yourself. This card may be encouraging you to look at the bigger picture of a close relationship. A perceived challenge may be an illusion or projection. This card may relate to family, teamwork, community, and ways you can harmonise dissonance for deeper growth. The bonds you share give you the power to transmute your fears, put time and awareness into resolving these karmic connections, or they will continue to play out. There may also be life-changing connection. There may also be a life-changing connection on the horizon. Oh, that would be good to put in the title, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, let's shuffle these actually. I'm hearing that song, Anything Could Happen. I think that was the one Charlotte put in the chat. Got my mum already. Oh. It was Amazon. So there's another sign of unexpected, like communication stuff, which again is very apt for Mercury retrograde. Well, Mercury direct day. Right. Doesn't happen on the actual day, but things can start happening. Oh yeah, look, this one. The Divine Matrix. And what was this? I love it. See, I don't like Pisces moons and I do. I've got a bit of a weird, like, it's really interesting. I've got a bit of a weird relationship with the Pisces moon when the moon is in Pisces. But I've also got a bit of a weird relationship. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say love hate. I don't like the word hate, but kind of like with Pisces moon people too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've had a mixture of Pisces moons that I get on great with, and the other weird, the same thing that's happened loads and loads of times. Yeah, so you know what I mean. So it's, but synchronicity, that's what I kept saying. So remember, because it's this God and the guide speaking through me. Interconnectedness, synchronicity, God coincidences. So yeah, I'm going to double down on that. That there's going to be at least someone watching this. There's some very interesting things that happen. Like huge synchronicity of you and your twin flame, or some people actually, you know, seeing them, or this person gets in touch, you know. So, right. I'm going to leave that there because, yeah, I'm going to be going soon. So, yeah, I don't know what order I'll put these all out in, but I think I'm just going to film the other ones just in case.